Welcome back, dear viewers, and to shed more light on this issue, as we witnessed by the report, European Commissioner for Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Management affirmed on Friday that it's time to end violence against the Palestinian people. And to shed more light on this issue, I'm honored to be joined over the phone by Monica William, International Relations Analyst. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us on Nile TV International. And at the beginning, how does the EU Commissioner visit to Rafah reflect the Europe's current stance on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza?
Of course, if we try to shed light on the visit of the President or European Commission to Rafah crossing, represents clear acknowledgement of Egypt in that beautiful role in managing the complements of the Palestinian issue. And if we try to shed light on, as you said, this visit or the European knowledge in this regard, of course, Egypt, the European Commission is more than a symbolic gesture. It reflects a growing European recognition that the issue is very critical, and Egypt is central stabilizing force in the Middle East, capable of balancing humanitarian imperative and democratic leadership. It also signals the strength of Europe and Egypt ties at a moment of regional dimension, and reforms the alignment between both sides on supporting ceasefire and humanitarian needs, as you said, and preserve the prospect of a two-state solution. And if we try to read the European Commission statement, which is made from in front of Rafah crossing, it's evident that EU sought to highlight several core priorities. The message emphasized the urgent need to ensure sufficient humanitarian aid reaches Gaza without any obstacles. And it's, of course, when she shed light on or underscores that EU and its institution and its European countries have allocated approximately $600 million to support the training and capacity building for the Palestinian Authority. All of these statements reflect a long-term investment in governance, in institutional stability and security sector reform, which is reflects the importance of reconstruction efforts, of course.
Well, also the EU Commissioner described the situation in Gaza as catastrophic. What are the most urgent needs on the ground right now?
Of course, it's a multi-track approach should be taken towards the Gaza crisis, and there is a lot of tracks, as we said. It's active on political and diplomatic fronts, so engage between international partners or among different actors to push for de-escalation and to protect the civilian lives, and revive pathway for sustainable political settlement to forward and to achieve the second phase of the agreement and peace agreement. And of course, if we try to, for instance, talk on the Egypt role in this regard, that we try to shed light on the Egypt role in this regard, the humanitarian role, and to the political and diplomatic role. And of course, this is the message that sent between from European Commission, which is talk on the reconstruction efforts, which is very important and very valid and in dire need to start reconstruction efforts, and to this position represents a significant step toward an aligned European discourse with Arab countries and international community to practical support for Palestinian needs and to broader peace process.
Well, to what extent can the EU pressure Israel to allow UN agencies to operate freely in the Strip?
Of course, the European ongoing escalation in Gaza pushed European Union and European countries to intensify its diplomatic and political pressure on Israel, particularly regarding humanitarian access and the protection of civilians. European leaders expressed the concern over the scale of destruction and the severe shortage of food, medicine and fuel, and it stressed that Israel must comply with international humanitarian law. This pressure is evident in stronger public statements which coordinate with EU message and the growing call for several European capitals for an immediate and sustainable ceasefire and reconstruction efforts. At the same time, European has expanded its humanitarian funding, engaging directly with Egypt and regional actors, and attempt to leverage its economic and political ties with Israel to influence, of course, its behavior, like Germany, of course.
And how significant has Egypt been in sustaining Gaza ceasefire and also mediating between the parties involved?
For the visit, if we try to shed more important and valid point, let me shed light that the visit highlights, of course, the broader success of Egypt's foreign policy over the past months. Nearly a month earlier, Egypt participate with EU summit. Of course, it clarify its role in Gaza file and underscore its efforts to prevent forced displacement and to protect the rights of Palestinian people. This summit also advanced the political and economic pillars of Egypt and EU relations, and paving way for deeper cooperation in different aspects in different files like Gaza and investment, energy and migration, governance and regional security.
And what mechanisms is Egypt using to ensure safe and rapid delivery of humanitarian aid into Gaza?
As we said, that Egypt tried to take and adapt a multilateral and multidimensional approach regarding Gaza file and to support humanitarian needs in this regard. As of course know that 60% of the humanitarian and relief efforts is positioned as Rafah crossing. Egypt is the primary gateway for humanitarian aid, and it coordinates with UN and international donors and NGOs to facilitate the entry of food and emergency assistance. Of course, as well as Egypt, hospitals has also received 100 Palestinians for treatment, and on it's not this point only. Egypt is leading intensive diplomatic negotiations aimed at secure ceasefire arrangement, preventing escalation and ensure the release of hostages and the net. And Cairo being a key mediator between all parts, as we see the last month, maintain communication channels that few other states possess, of course.
Well, Monica William, International Relations Analyst, thank you so much for your insight and for joining us on Nile TV International. And DP was Executive Director of the National Election Authority, Ahmed Bindari, affirmed the completion of all preparations and readiness for conducting the runoff round of the first phase of the House of Representatives elections. We have more details in the following report.
Executive Director of the National Election Authority, Ahmed Al-Binderi, affirmed the completion of all preparations and readiness for conducting the runoff round of the first phase of the House of Representatives elections, which include 31 constituencies across 10 governorates, as well as holding the first round of the cancelled constituencies within the same phase, which includes 19 constituencies distributed across the 7 governorates. He added that all technical and logistical aspects related to the electoral process have been fully completed, in addition to continuous coordination between the NEA and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs regarding the voting of Egyptians abroad on Monday and Tuesday. He indicated that the printing of ballot papers have been finalized, all electoral documents have been prepared, and advisors who will preside over the sub-polling stations during the voting inside the country next Wednesday and Thursday have been assigned. Binderi stressed that the authority will continue its approach of dealing firmly and responsibly with any violation that may occur during the electoral process, announcing them publicly and taking decisive legal action against them. This is part of the authority's commitment to protecting voters' rights and their free will in electing those who deem suitable for parliament membership. He added that the follow-up committees in the governorates and general committees, as well as the committees formed by the NEA to monitor all aspects of the electoral process, are carrying out their work with precision, ensuring the integrity of the electoral process and the entire electoral scene.